This is Umar for BoxNation. I'm joined by Hall of Fame promoter Frank Warren. I'm going to see you this week, Frank, because obviously you've got your magnificent seven card this Saturday. So I'm going to see you at all the events. So I didn't plan to do this Zoom today, but last night I think the greatest boxing card ever was announced. So I've had to get you on. Do you agree?
Fabulous boxing card, isn't it? I mean, well, it's got to be in certainly for God knows how many years. It's just a fabulous fight card. Look at it from top to bottom. Every fight in there's a really, really good quality fight. The rematch is a brilliant, brilliant match between Beterbiev and Bivol. So it was a very, very good fight first sound round, and I'm quite sure the next one will be as equally as good, if not better. And then you got Daniel making the second defence of his title against a winning fighter in Joe Parker. That is a cracker of a fight, and I'm looking forward to that one. Hamza having his first fight as challenging for a world title in a cracking fight against Adames. You got really, really, really good quality fight with Zhang and against Kabayel. I mean, that is a brilliant fight. That's for the interim title. You've got obviously Shakur Stevenson-Schofield. That's a cracker. You've got Joshua Buatsi in with Callum is a really good, really, really good fight. And obviously we've got what's his name? Boots against Madridov, which is a crack. Sorry, Ortiz against
Ortiz.
Madridov, which is again is a really good quality fight. I mean, it's just a fabulous, fabulous card. I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable card.
Well, I think the beauty with this card is that every fight you've just mentioned there is a main event.
Well, we say that a lot. I mean, but these are quality. I mean, these are main event. I mean, these are real stand-up main events in their own right. I mean, it's just an unbelievable. It's an unbelievable fight card. If you were going to buy someone a boxing ticket for Christmas, this is the one you'd buy them the present for, because there's some great deals as well. There'll be some really good junkets, I believe, flying out there as well. I mean, what a special present that'd be for somebody to go and watch the fight out there in Riyadh. That'd be superb.
Well, it's interesting you said that. A couple of my mates who, follow the boxing a bit but aren't diehard fans have actually said that they're interested in coming out to Riyadh for this Feb 22nd card.
Well, like I said, that's it. And there will be opportunities and junkets that will be flying there. Excuse
Okay,
me.
that's good to hear. That's all right. Frank, I want to start with your guy, Daniel Dubois. Um, so this Joshua rematch didn't get over the line for whatever reason. So you had to move quickly, find an opponent. Joseph Parker was heavily rumoured. Credit to Daniel Dubois because this is a voluntary defence and he's fighting one of the best heavyweights in the world. He didn't have to take Joseph Parker.
He's fighting a guy who's got a strong line of form at the moment. And Joseph's a competitor. He comes to fight. It's going to be a good fight. There's no doubt about it. But you know, listen, we've been they're both been with us, and but the bottom line of it is, obviously he's been with me from day one, Daniel, and I've been a believer in him. But this is going to get the best out of him. He's going to have to be at his best, but he's thrilled with the fight. He loves the fight.
How many options were there in the hat for Daniel?
Anybody in the top 15.
But I'm saying, did negotiations go deep with other guys other than Joseph Parker?
Well, it wouldn't be a problem for us to make a fight for Daniel in the heavyweight division, I promise you.
Well, listen, I'm going to read out some of the names he's actually boxed. It's incredible because he's only 27 years old. So let's actually go through it. Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua, Philip Hergovich, Joe Joyce, Jerome Miller, Kevin Arena, and now Joseph Parker. It's staggering that.
Yeah, and you think what he's done? I'll keep banging on that. And his last five fights, all world ranked fighters, or world champions, world ranked fighters, or former champions. I mean, undefeated fighters. I think the last three out of the last four were undefeated.
Apart from Alexander Usyk, Frank, do you think this is his toughest test to date?
Yeah, I think it could be. Joseph is a former world champion himself. He knows his way around. He's he fancies the jump. I think it will be his toughest jump on paper.
But
On
ultimately,
paper. On
ultimately,
paper.
ultimately, it'll be a Daniel Dubois stoppage, you believe?
Yeah.
Why is that? Just
The,
tell me why you believe that.
I think because of his age. I think because of the place that he's in. Because he's finally. I want to say finally. I shouldn't say that. He's only just turned 27, hasn't he? He's just got this massive ability. He's very, very strong. He's fast as a heavyweight. He's got a superb jab, and he's very, very hurtful with both hands. And I don't think there's a lot of people can take his power. I really don't. And if he catches you, you're in trouble. He's a good finisher. When he gets you in trouble, you know you're in trouble.
I think the biggest thing with Daniel that we saw in that Filip Hrgović fight is when Daniel, like against Joe Joyce, was not didn't start well, wasn't having it all his all way, I should say. He got a bit deterred, and that's why it went wrong against Joe Joyce. Same with the back end of the Usyk fight, but the Hrgović fight where he took so much punishment early on. I know you don't want to see that for your guy, but it was a good marking test. He came through that with flying colours. And if Joseph Parker in this fight is to have success at some points, I feel like Daniel's just going to keep on going and going. I'm sure you agree with that.
Well, listen, if he comes through this fight, there's going to be you've got to look and think, at his age and what he is, how long he's going to be around, and and he's going to be the guy to beat. I also, you know, you started talking about Joe Joyce fight. There was nothing that Joe Joyce fight. He was in front on the cards, until he got stopped, and it was a bad injury. But Joe done extremely well with the way he persevered and busted his eye up. But he was in front on the cards.
Yeah, but I think the point I'm trying to make, Frank, is that back then, that version of Daniel Dubois, when he wasn't having it all his own way, he would lose focus and get deterred. But he's gone past that clearly. We saw that in the Hrgović fight and the Miller fight.
He's got mentally stronger, and I think I said that in a couple of interviews you and I have done. Mentally, he's in a good place. You get him in a good place mentally, and he's a handful. He's a real, real handful. And anyone who I speak to who's sparred with him, who's fought him, they all say the same thing. Joe said it himself, Joe Joyce. He said he's the hardest he's ever been hit is by Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
And he can box a bit. He's not a one-trick pony. He showed that. Look how he fought against AJ. He didn't go and have a tear-up. He went out and controlled that fight behind his jab.
Well, Lennox Lewis said to me a few weeks ago, who probably him and Larry Holmes probably had the best heavyweight jabs ever. Lennox said to me he believes Daniel Dubois got the best jab currently in the heavyweight division.
He's got a fabulous jab. There's no doubt about it, mate. He's got a fabulous jab.
Yeah. Frank, I just want to go through the rest of the card as well. So naturally, let's go to your other guy, Adames-Sheeraz, who, as you said, is challenging for the WBC middleweight world title against Carlos Adames. Now, Frank, you're known as a promoter for making the right fight, the right time, especially with guys that you've developed from day dot. And when it comes to that world title opportunity, perfect timing. This, in your opinion, for Hamza?
I hope it is. I think he's ready to. I think he's ready to challenge and win a world title, and I believe that he can win this fight. Won't be easy at all, by the way. He's in with a good quality fighter. But again, Hamza's in a good place. He's had good grounding, good schooling, and this is the time to do it for him. This is the time. This should be his time. But it's a tough fight. It's not an easy fight. But I do believe that he has the ability to win it.
I know the fight with Janabek was ordered by the WBO. Why did you go down the WBC route with Adames over Janabek?
Two reasons. One, I obviously feel that he can win the fight, and two, we've got the fight on Saturday, which is now becoming a final eliminator, and the winner of that will fight for the WBO title. So we get two bites at it, and hopefully, if it all goes to plan, we get two Brits holding world title fights, and we can make a really, really, really good quality unification fight. That's the plan.
Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, Shiraz has shown a great run of form. Do you think he can stop Adames?
I think again, he's very powerful puncher. You've seen that with with people. He's very loose limbed, throws good shots, and he's very strong. And I've said before, I've said it on quite a few occasions. He reminds me, it's in his style as a Tommy Hearns style type of fighter, like a British type of Tommy Hearns, which is is a bit of a statement to make, I know, but I believe that, and I believe for him this fight, his style can do the job. He's tall, he's rangy, and he can. And for a tall, rangy guy, what I like about him is that he can fight in on the inside. You watch him work on the inside. He throws good shots on the inside, and they're hurtful punches.
Okay. And your last guy on the card, the big heavyweight from China, Big Bang, Zhang, who fights Ajit in what is a really 50-50 fight, Frank. It's very hard to call. The WBC interim championship is on that line as well. So look, when the Bacoli situation was going on with the IBF, I guess that's why that didn't materialize because Zhang and Kabayel were going to fight for the WBC interim.
Correct, and that's that for them is a great fight for the both of them to become the interim champion. Puts you straight in the driving seat as far as a mandatory is concerned. You're the interim champion, not a mandatory. You become the interim champion.
I say it's a very tough one to call, Frank, because obviously Zhang is one of the heaviest handed fighters in the division, very dangerous early on. But Caballero is such a smart operator, and if he can take
I,
Gillai down the stretch, it becomes a really interesting fight.
It's a really interesting fight from the first bell. They're both extremely good fighters. I love the fight. I think it's a really for a spectator. You don't get any better than this. It'll be action fight, and both of them have got styles that will really blend and gel and turn it into being a real competitive fight to watch. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a very, very good fight, exciting fight.
And of course, from a career point of view, you win this and you're there for the WBC world title, whoever's
There
holding
you
it.
go. There you go. There you go. And as I said, you got the big one on the 21st of December. It's only a few weeks' time now in Riyadh, the rematch, and that fabulous video promo that come out.
Amazing.
Best one yet, no doubt about that. And you look at that fight, and that soon as the dust settles on that, then as far as all the different organisations, people are going to be jostling and in place for the mandatories or the defences of the interim titles against the champions. So very exciting times.
Absolutely. Next fight I want to talk to you about is an all British affair at a light heavyweight. I know you really rate Joshua Buatsi. He's up against Callum Smith, who's a top operator himself. Do you make Buatsi a slight favourite in this fight, though, Frank, personally?
Yeah, I do. I do. It's a tough fight again. There's a lot at stake for both of these guys. Um, you know, Josh is in the number one spot, and you got the big fight on the same night
Yeah.
between the champion for the four belts, and then the winner of that fight he's gonna have to start making some defenses of title of his various titles. That's for sure.
I mean, we talked about how amazing this card is. When you're seeing Buatsi v Callum Smith as the bottom fight on the main card, I think that says it all, doesn't it?
I think the running order is what it is, and with that all gets sorted out. I look at each fight individually, and I think that's one of them where you get there, you just park yourself up on your seat and just be entertained. If you're a boxing fan, as I always say, when you get these type of fights, and this event especially, you're in boxing heaven. You're not going, you will not move off your seat. You won't want to miss any of these fights.
Frank, with the light heavyweight division in terms of Riyadh season, we've seen Bivol had a run out before he's fought Beterbiev. He's fighting Beterbiev again. We've seen Willie Hutchinson, Craig Richards. We've seen Willie Hutchinson, Joshua Buatsi. We're now seeing Buatsi-Smith. I don't want to dwell on this situation too much, but obviously with Anthony Yard and that whole situation, he's missing out on some big paydays, big fights, isn't he?
But I don't want to dwell on it either. It is what it is, and and we're in the business of making fights for the fighters that we and fighters that work with the team, and that's where we are.
Yeah. In terms of the rest of the card, some fantastic fights here. I mean, Ortiz Jr. v Madrimov. That is another extremely hard
Yeah,
fight to call. Um, just a couple of questions on this, please, Frank. So Madrimov, he's still fighting Bohacek on the December 21st card. Is that correct?
I think so. Yeah,
I was going to say because that's a quick turnaround. It's February 22nd against Ortiz.
it certainly is. It certainly is, no doubt about that. But he's not. How many fights he had now? There's about 11 fights as a pro, or whatever
Not
it is.
many. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully, if he comes through his fight and comes through it, in a style, it should be okay.
Can I ask? I know. Neither Ortiz or Boots Ennis are your fighters, but obviously, you're putting this card together with the various parties. What happened with Ortiz Jr. and Boots Ennis? Why didn't that happen to your knowledge?
Just didn't happen for various reasons, and it is what it is. So you've got a great fight. Anyway, who knows? Maybe it'll happen down the road.
Yeah. And again, look, Madrimov's not your fighter, but he fought Crawford. He headlined in LA against Crawford in
He
August.
boxed well. I've got to tell you, I was very impressed with him. He lost the fight, but there weren't a lot in that fight. And when you look at who he fought and the quality of Crawford, I mean, he certainly did not embarrass himself. That's for sure.
But for August Crawford, he's fighting in December against Bohacik and then February against Ortiz Jr. I mean, this is like the old school days, Madrimov. He's that type of fighter.
Well, old school. I mean, what's he had? It's a bit like Lemonchenko, isn't it? It's that sort of, pedigree. He's had a wealth of amateur experience and a top class, one of the best amateurs ever. And he's certainly in the last 10 years, one of the best out there. This for him is, for him to be doing this says a lot about him and for his team to take the fights, said that the belief they have in him as a fighter. And I think they were justified. They're justified in that faith after the fight he had with Crawford.
And the good thing about that as well, Ortiz Jr. is a big star sort of in the Hispanic market. That brings eyes from that part of the world onto
Correct.
the card.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and then you've got Shakur Stevenson v Floyd Schofield. Shakur's a big name in America, one of the biggest at the moment. So those eyeballs
Two
from America
undefeated
also come
fighters.
on.
Yeah, they're undefeated fighters, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, Schofield's undefeated, so it's a bloody good fight. Yeah.
This fight card named the last crescendo with Riyadh season, Gold Star, yourself at Queensberry, and all the other parties involved. How long did it really take to get this all together?
Look, everybody's a team's worked on it. All the promoters, HE, his team, everyone's been working. I can't tell you, day and night to get it done. And it's hard sometimes to make these things happen, but there's a will. It's been driven, and it's been HE was determined that he wanted wanted us to get this over the line as far as everybody was concerned, and that's what everyone's done. They work their balls off to make it happen. To be quite honest, it's been as simple as that.
Yeah, certainly. That is February 22nd. Quite incredible card that Riyadh season are putting on. Frank, just a couple of other things I want to touch upon before we close off. I just actually watched the face-off between Fury and Usyk that DAZN put out that you were in and also Alex Krassyuk were in. What did you take away from that?
I just I took away from Tyson being in a dressing room after the fight that he wanted this. That's when it weren't like one of them. Because I said to him, and I'm going to tell you the truth, what I said to him in the dressing room. I said, you haven't got to make any decisions about anything. You've been away from your family for a while. You had the cut and everything. I said, just go and take your time. And when you're ready, make your mind up. And, we got the rematch is contracted if we need to do it, if you want to do it. And he said, I want it now. And I talked him into at the dressing room saying, I'm not going to give an answer more or less, but he just wanted the fight. He's called constantly. So what I take away from that face-off is what I took away immediately after the fight. He wants revenge. He wants to do it, and he believes he'll do it. He's not, Tyson is not stupid. He believes he can do this, and I believe in him, and I believe he'll do it.
Usyk is a very cool customer, though, isn't he?
He's a very good fighter. He's, look, quite rightly, he's up there with all the best of his generation, according to the result of the fight. He's there. I don't want to take anything away from Usyk. All what people say about him, he is. Which, if Tyson wins the fight, which I think he will do, makes Tyson that guy. That's
Although
how it is.
he wants a trilogy.
Well, you know what? If the fight's like it was last time, that's what you would wind up with. Tyson comes through. Of course, why wouldn't? Why wouldn't? If they both want to fight on, because you've got to remember that's the bottom line. It's not it will automatically happen. If they both want to do it, they want to keep making those sacrifices. They're both very, very wealthy men. They've made a lot of money out of it, especially since the Riyadh season's come into being. It's changed the whole dynamic, as I said, from day one of the sport. And financially, it's done that for a lot of boxers, especially these two guys. So, do they need to do it? If they do it, I mean, Tyson doesn't need to be fighting now. And Usyk probably as well. They fight because of this, because of their hearts. That's why they fight, because they're fighting men.
You touched upon the promo. I think whoever made that Usyk-Fury 2 promo, whoever works for His Excellency and made that, definitely deserves a raise.
French director, and yeah, he done. I mean, that was so clever. It's excellent.
He could make a Hollywood movie, to be fair, some of the stuff
He
he
has
does.
done.
Oh, he has done. There you go. There you go. Frank, just lastly, someone that you know very well, represented for a long time in Sonny Edwards, announced his retirement on the weekend. Galal Yafai with a very dominant display on Saturday night. Um, just before we come on to Sonny and his retirement and your time with him, there was a very concerning moment after round two where he went back to his corner and said, "I don't want to be in here." What were you thinking when you watched that?
I didn't watch it live. I watched it afterwards because I was out. What did I think of it? Well, first of all, he won his world title with me. He's he's a superb boxer, and the only thing he lacked, he doesn't lack heart. He didn't lack, his skills were great skills he had. He wasn't a big puncher, and if you can't outbox somebody, and then you feel that your powers are diminished, which is obviously what he's saying, but he didn't want to be in there. If he's saying that and that's how he feels, and he knows he's not really a one-punch knockout merchant or very rarely stop guys, then you make the right decision and you retire. What did I feel then? Obviously, for him to say that, he didn't want to be in there. I mean, what more can you want? There's nothing more you can say about that. His heart weren't there. He
Should he have
didn't
been
want to
pulled
be in
out
there.
by his corner there and then?
I'm not going to make that's up to that's their for them to work out between them. If a fighter's telling you, and I've heard fighters, by the way, say that you know, I've seen I'm not going to tell you it was a fighter who wanted to pull out of a fight in the dressing room just before the fight of the main event. I've been there and seen that happen, and he actually went in there and won the fight. So it's a moment in time. But if you really feel like, obviously he did feel like that, he said it. Maybe sometimes you don't feel right, but he's saying it so early in the fight in the second round, then you shouldn't be in there.
Mhm. What about the fight itself? How do you read it?
I've read it that the better man won. That's what he done. The better man won the fight. Um, did he beat the best Sonny Edwards? He beat the best Sonny Edwards that was there in 2024 or the end of 2024. That's what he did. You can't take nothing away from him. He trained, he came out and done what he had to do. Yeah, and he done it. And that's it. Sonny, you know, I think he's right to retire now. He said he wants to retire. I'm sure 6 months' time he's going to do what a lot of fighters do. 99% of fighters say, I'm coming back, one more fight, see if I can do it and whatever. But you know what? Retire. Stay retired and enjoy what you made from the sport.
I mean, I think the best I've seen Sonny was at your call behind closed doors when he won the world title under you against the South African champion. He was
Brilliant
sensational that
performance.
night.
He was. He's a brilliant boxer. I mean, a really, really good quality boxer. Very smart boxer. The art of hitting and not being hit. That's what boxing's about. Some guys are not big punchers. That's why you have judges to judge fights. Um, but what he had was superb boxing skills, and he used them to great effect. And he won world title. That's what he did.
Frank, did you watch the Gavin Gwynn fight on the undercard?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay,
Why?
because there was a big controversy around it regarding the scorecards.
Oh, I heard about that. I didn't see the fight, so I can't comment on it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Well, listen, Frank, it's a big week in London. Fight week starts tomorrow with your Boxwise event in Islington.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Thursday Presso weigh-in Friday, and then the Mag 7 comes to the capital on Saturday night. You must be very excited.
I am very excited. I mean, talk about end of the year with a bang. We got the Mag 7, Magnificent 7, and then we're off to Riyadh for an unbelievable rematch and great undercard again with some fabulous fights on. I mean, what a fabulous year it's been. Was it now 14 months? What a fabulous 14 months. It's a game changer beyond game changers. There's no doubt about that. I'm loving every moment of it. I'm sure everybody is who's watching the fights, the people who are involved. It's just been phenomenal. And then we're going to kick off 2025 with an even bigger show, with a massive show. It's just gets better and better. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Frank, appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you this week.
I look forward to that, my son. Be good.
Cheers, Frank.